Blessed is he that readeth, and they that hear the words of this prophecy, and keep those things which are written therein, for the time is at hand.
Destructive wildfire in Northern California. The McKinney fire is now the largest fire in the state this year. More than 55,000 acres destroyed, at least 2 people killed, apparently while trying to escape the flames. Homes and structures up in flames. Nearly 2,000 people have been forced to evacuate, and more evacuations could come at any moment.
The fast-moving Oak Fire, which only began on Friday afternoon, growing into one of California's largest wildfires of the year. The flames now burning out of control outside of Yosemite National Park, the 3rd wildfire there in the last 2 weeks.
One South Bay man watched as flames headed directly towards his home outside of Wairika. Fire has already burned more than 50,000 acres over the weekend, and there's still no containment.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire. And the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary.
The blaze already consuming homes and businesses. Explosions could be seen after flames reach propane tanks. California officials saying the explosive fire behavior is challenging firefighters. The flames finding ample fuel thanks to the region's extreme drought. Those nightmarish conditions on the ground so intense, the Oak Fire can be seen from the International Space Station.
Therefore shall the land mourn, and everyone that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea also shall be taken away.
Earth has recorded its shortest day ever on June 29, completing one rotation in 1.59 milliseconds under 24 hours.
I think that time is very confusing sometimes when you have to think about it.
Jackie Faherty is an astrophysicist at the American Museum of Natural History's Hayden Planetarium in New York City.
When people think about the day, February 29th, what should they think about?
We're placing a human construct around what is an astronomical phenomenon.
In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Thine habitation is in the midst of deceit. Through deceit they refuse to know me, saith the Lord.
You guys have been working on this calendar for how long?
Decades. And so far, nada.
July 27th, 2022. I had a dream that I was at my childhood home. Now, in this dream, I was sitting outside on the porch, and it was nighttime. As I'm sitting on the porch, I seen a senior citizen who I began having a conversation with. And all of a sudden, he begins to look at the sky as we're talking. As I look in his direction, we're looking at Earth. We stared at it for about 10 to 15 seconds. Four blood moons appear under the Earth. Now, as this happens, he said out loud, "Guys, look, look." He's trying to get everyone's attention, but they're not paying attention whatsoever. He yells again, "Guys, look, look." A younger man comes to the porch and he goes, "Don't worry about it. This happens every day. You have nothing to worry about. You have nothing to be afraid of. Everything will be all right." And the senior citizen, he says again, "No, you're not looking. Look up." And as he says this, the whole dream begins to shake. My soul, my spirit, it begins to tremble uncontrollably. I'm shivering at this point as I'm trembling, looking at these four blood moons. As this happens, I no longer see the younger man in sight. I no longer see anybody outside. It's me and the senior citizen looking up at what is happening. And as this happens, the four blood moons, they're red, but it looked as though somebody plucked them and now they're dripping. And as this happens, as they're beginning to drip, the earth is being more and more full of it, more and more full of blood. It's filling up all the way to the pinnacle. And as it gets to the very top, the earth, it explodes. All of its mass, the atmosphere, it was unrecognizable. It was so bad that as it exploded, all of the moons turned from blood to white, to their natural state. But the earth, it remained ripped into shreds and unrecognizable. And I woke up. The Holy Spirit gave me an interpretation of it. The four blood moons represent the corners of the earth. Not only so, but they also represent time, as God tells us in Genesis 1:14. The four moons returning to their natural state, while the earth didn't return to normal, represents the cup of God's wrath being poured into the world, completely destroying it to no return. In the dream, I said the earth did not become fully engulfed with blood until the blood moons started to drip into it. This is not only an urgent dream, but an urgent message to the whole world that the coming judgment of God is imminent. Jesus Christ is returning. It could be today. Are you ready?